Have you ever felt drawn to someone who seems just out of reach, as if their mystery sparks a deeper curiosity within you? In today's video, we embark on an eye-opening journey into the hidden psychology of ignoring women, a topic that challenges conventional dating wisdom and unveils the subtle interplay of attraction, scarcity, and social proof. Imagine a scenario where, rather than showering attention, a deliberate pause creates an irresistible allure, leaving you to wonder about the depths hidden behind a calm, reserved demeanor. This video delves deep into the science of human connection and the age-old adage that absence can indeed make the heart grow fonder. We explore how brief moments of unavailability can stimulate our brain's reward systems, triggering feelings of intrigue and desire. But be warned, this strategy is a double-edged sword. While it can kindle interest and enhance allure, overusing it may lead to miscommunication, emotional distance, and even unintended hurt. Join us as we unravel the complexities of this fascinating approach, backed by psychological theories, real-life experiences, and practical insights. Whether you're looking to understand the dynamics of attraction or seeking strategies to foster genuine connection, this video promises to shed light on the art of balancing mystery with meaningful communication. Get ready to challenge your perceptions and discover the hidden mechanics that drive our most intimate interactions. If you're curious to learn more about how the delicate dance of selective attention can reshape relationships, then you're in the right place. Let's dive in and explore the captivating world where absence speaks louder than words. 1. The intriguing premise. An introduction to the hidden psychology. In today's fast-paced world of dating and human relationships, the art of being selectively unavailable has become a topic of significant intrigue. Imagine a scenario where, instead of overt displays of interest, an individual chooses to step back, allowing a natural air of mystery to emerge. This seemingly counterintuitive approach is rooted in the psychological concept that what is scarce often becomes more attractive. In this chapter, we embark on an exploration of how ignoring women, when approached with the right mindset and context, can sometimes spark curiosity and enhance attraction. At its core, this strategy leverages deep-seated human instincts and the powerful forces of cognitive biases. We begin by examining the age-old notion that absence can make the heart grow fonder. Think back to a time when you felt an inexplicable pull towards someone who wasn't always available. Perhaps you even noticed that a person who maintained a bit of distance seemed more intriguing or desirable. This reaction is no accident. It is deeply entwined with evolutionary psychology and our brain's reward systems. Neuroscientific studies have shown that unpredictability in social interactions can activate the brain's pleasure centers. By allowing a controlled amount of distance, one can inadvertently signal self-assurance and independence, a signal that many find irresistible. Yet it's crucial to understand that this technique isn't about playing mind games or causing emotional distress. It's about striking a balance between personal boundaries and mutual respect. Many who have applied this method in their dating lives discovered that a little mystery can encourage deeper curiosity. However, this approach is double-edged. If misapplied, it might create a barrier that prevents genuine connection. Throughout our discussion, we will delve into both the promises and pitfalls of this strategy, examining how modern research in human attachment and the principles of scarcity and social proof inform its use. By setting the stage with both scientific insights and relatable real-life experiences, we aim to provide you with a nuanced view. This chapter invites you to reflect on your own past interactions, asking whether a touch of unpredictability could have altered outcomes. Ultimately, we challenge you to consider: is there power in stepping back, and what can this reveal about the delicate dance of attraction? 2. Decoding attraction. The science behind human connection and attachment. Imagine being drawn to someone who exudes a quiet confidence, a person whose reserved demeanor makes you wonder about the depths hidden behind those calm eyes. This is not mere coincidence, but rather a manifestation of deeply ingrained psychological phenomena that govern our responses to human connection. In this chapter, we explore the scientific foundations of attraction and attachment that explain why being occasionally ignored can amplify interest. From the perspective of attachment theory, Our early interactions with caregivers shape the way we seek and maintain relationships as adults. Secure, anxious, or avoidant attachment styles influence how we perceive and react to signals in our social environment. When someone chooses to pull back or appears less available, it can trigger a natural human inclination to resolve uncertainty. This uncertainty is processed in our brains much like an unresolved puzzle, prompting us to invest more emotionally and cognitively in understanding the person behind the mystery. Delving into the principles of cognitive psychology, we find that selective inattention, whether intentional or unintentional, can enhance perceived value. Studies in social psychology have long demonstrated that scarcity breeds desire. When a woman is not immediately available, the brain often compensates by attributing higher value to her presence, fostering a sense of urgency and allure. Consider a scenario where a friend mentions that someone in a social circle is highly sought after due to their reserved nature. Suddenly, her rarity on the social stage turns into a compelling quality that many wish to emulate or obtain. Moreover, human attraction is not solely an individual phenomenon, but is also significantly influenced by social dynamics. When we observe others showing interest in someone who maintains a certain distance, our own curiosity is piqued. This is the principle of social proof at work. It reinforces the idea that if others find a person attractive despite, or perhaps because of, their aloofness, there must be something genuinely captivating about them. This chapter also examines real-life narratives and psychological studies that highlight how controlled availability creates an environment of intrigue. For instance, consider a time when you may have experienced a moment of doubt or anxiety in a budding relationship. Often, it is the brief periods of uncertainty that encourage us to invest more of ourselves into the relationship, seeking clarity and connection. However, it's essential to remember that the underlying goal is not manipulation, but rather fostering genuine interest while maintaining healthy boundaries. Through a blend of scientific explanation and relatable examples, we see that the dynamics of attraction are far more complex than simple availability, and that sometimes a strategic pause can lead to richer, more meaningful connections. 3. Scarcity in action. How limited availability amplifies desire. Scarcity is a powerful psychological trigger. When resources, attention, or affection seem limited, they suddenly become more valuable in our eyes. In this chapter, we dive deep into the concept of scarcity and its critical role in shaping romantic and social relationships. Imagine walking into a room and noticing someone who is not always present or immediately available. A person who creates a sense of longing simply by being occasionally absent. This selective unavailability can elevate their perceived worth and allure. From an evolutionary standpoint, scarcity is linked to survival instincts. Historically, resources that were hard to obtain were often seen as more desirable because they signaled value and strength. In modern interpersonal dynamics, this instinct carries over. A woman who is not constantly accessible can signal independence and self-confidence. These traits can be attractive as they suggest that she has a full, rich life outside of the relationship, making any opportunity to be with her all the more coveted. Psychologically, the scarcity principle is tightly intertwined with our cognitive biases. The fear of missing out, FOMO, is a prime example. When a person's attention is not readily given, others are left to wonder what hidden qualities or experiences they might be missing. This creates a heightened sense of intrigue and competition. Suddenly, the challenge of winning someone over can become more engaging and emotionally charged. Consider a scenario where a person is trying to catch the eye of someone who rarely reciprocates attention immediately. Each moment of unavailability becomes a subtle test of interest, making the eventual interaction even more impactful when it does occur. Yet the benefits of scarcity must be balanced with the risks. In relationships, employing scarcity too frequently or without genuine care can lead to misinterpretation. It might be seen as disinterest or even emotional manipulation, potentially resulting in feelings of neglect or resentment. In real-life experiences, many individuals have confessed that while a bit of distance initially sparked their interest, prolonged unavailability often led to confusion and hurt feelings. It is in these moments that the fine line between cultivating intrigue and causing emotional harm becomes evident. Relatable experiences from viewers often highlight these challenges. Many recall a time when a friend's mysterious behavior both intrigued and frustrated them, wondering if the allure was genuine or simply a mask for uncertainty. Such stories underline the dual nature of scarcity. It can be an effective catalyst for attraction when used sparingly and thoughtfully, yet it can backfire if it undermines the fundamental need for clear and respectful communication. In exploring these nuances, this chapter not only illustrates the potent effects of scarcity, but also serves as a cautionary tale. It reminds us that while limited availability can heighten desire, it should never come at the expense of honesty and mutual respect in any relationship. 4. The ripple effect, social proof, and the dynamics of group influence. Human beings are inherently social creatures, and our perceptions are often influenced by the actions and opinions of those around us. In this chapter, we examine the concept of social proof and its profound impact on attraction and relationship dynamics. Imagine attending a social event where one woman stands out not because she seeks attention, but because she exudes an effortless charisma combined with a calm, selective demeanor. Observing others gravitating towards her, you may find yourself wondering what makes her so captivating. This is the power of social proof at work. Social proof is the idea that we tend to follow the behaviors and preferences of others. When a person is seen as desirable by a group, their allure is magnified. In many ways, ignoring or being selectively unavailable can amplify social proof. When someone is not constantly accessible, their perceived value can increase as others notice and comment on their rare presence. This phenomenon is often observed in dating scenarios. If multiple people express interest in a person who maintains a reserved profile, the individual's social standing and attractiveness are reinforced. For example, consider a situation where you notice that a person you're interested in is the subject of admiration among your mutual friends or colleagues. The scarcity of their attention, combined with the visible interest of others, creates an almost magnetic appeal. This collective endorsement acts as a powerful signal that the individual possesses qualities worth pursuing. Moreover, social proof can provide a psychological safety net. It suggests that the risk involved in pursuing a potentially elusive relationship is mitigated by the validation of others' interest. However, as with all strategies rooted in psychological principles, there is a flip side. Relying too heavily on the effects of social proof might lead one to make assumptions based solely on group dynamics rather than personal connection. It is essential to recognize that while social proof can serve as an indicator of value, it should not replace authentic, direct communication. Real-life experiences often recount instances where the pressure to conform to group opinions overshadowed individual feelings, leading to decisions that were more about fitting in than genuine connection. Viewers might recall a time when they admired someone largely because that person was widely regarded as desirable, only to later discover that the superficial allure masked deeper incompatibilities. These experiences underscore the importance of balancing the external signals provided by social proof with one's internal emotional responses and judgments. By exploring how social proof amplifies the effects of selective attention, this chapter provides not only an understanding of the underlying psychology, but also practical advice on navigating group dynamics. It encourages viewers to appreciate the complex interplay between individual desire and collective influence, reminding us that true attraction is built on more than just public perception. It is nurtured by genuine, respectful, and thoughtful engagement. 5. Walking a tightrope, recognizing the risks and drawbacks. While the idea of selectively ignoring or stepping back to generate intrigue can seem appealing, it is crucial to recognize that this strategy is not without its pitfalls. In this chapter, we delve into the potential risks and negative consequences that can arise when the tactic of being unavailable is misused or misunderstood. Picture a scenario where, in an attempt to appear alluring, one consistently withholds communication. Initially, it might spark curiosity, but over time, the lack of clarity can foster misinterpretation and emotional distress. One of the most significant risks associated with this approach is the potential for misunderstandings. In relationships, clarity and open communication form the bedrock of trust. When a person is frequently ignored or given mixed signals, it can lead to feelings of uncertainty and anxiety for the other party. This uncertainty may manifest as insecurity, where the person being ignored begins to question their own worth or the sincerity of the relationship. Such emotional turmoil not only disrupts the natural progression of a relationship, but can also lead to long-term issues, such as attachment insecurities or chronic self-doubt. Moreover, consistently employing selective unavailability can inadvertently communicate disinterest or emotional detachment. Viewers may relate to moments when a friend's or partner's constant absence made them feel undervalued. These experiences serve as a reminder that while a brief, well-timed pause can enhance attraction, habitual neglect can erode the foundation of mutual respect and care. In some cases, what was intended as a strategy to spark interest can be perceived as a lack of genuine commitment or investment in the relationship. This is particularly true when the underlying intent is not to create mystery, but to manipulate emotions for personal gain. Another drawback to consider is the impact on communication. Effective relationships are built on the ability to express one's feelings openly and honestly. When the strategy of ignoring becomes a habitual response, it can stifle essential conversations and lead to a cycle of unspoken resentments. For instance, if one partner consistently withdraws during conflicts or moments that require vulnerability, it can create an environment of emotional isolation. Over time, this may cause the relationship to suffer, as unresolved issues accumulate and erode the trust between partners. It is also important to note that this approach, when overused, may foster an unhealthy dynamic where one person's emotional needs are consistently sidelined. While the occasional pause can create space for reflection and growth, chronic unavailability risks fostering a power imbalance. Those who have experienced this imbalance often share stories of feeling perpetually on edge, never fully secure in the relationship, and constantly questioning whether they are truly valued. In sharing these risks, we are not advocating for a complete abandonment of the strategy, but rather a mindful application of it. This chapter serves as a cautionary tale, urging viewers to weigh the potential benefits against the possible emotional costs. It reminds us that the ultimate goal in any relationship should be mutual growth, respect, and understanding. By acknowledging these drawbacks and learning from real-life experiences, individuals can better navigate the delicate balance between creating allure and maintaining emotional honesty, a balance that is key to fostering both attraction and lasting connection. 6. Lessons from real life. Relatable experiences and cautionary tales. Throughout our journey in understanding the hidden psychology behind ignoring as a strategy, it's essential to ground these insights in real-life experiences. Many viewers have shared their own stories of moments when a touch of mystery either rekindled their interest or, conversely, led to hurt feelings and missed opportunities. In this chapter, we delve into a collection of relatable anecdotes and cautionary tales that illustrate the practical application and potential pitfalls of selective unavailability. Consider the story of Alex, a young professional who noticed that by occasionally stepping back in his budding relationship, he could spark a renewed curiosity in his partner. Initially, his measured approach seemed to create the ideal balance between pursuit and independence, leading to engaging conversations and deeper emotional investment. Alex believed that his reserved nature added a layer of mystery, prompting his partner to reflect on their connection more thoughtfully. However, as time passed, what was once an enticing game of give and take began to erode the consistent communication that is critical for long-term relationship health. His partner started feeling neglected and questioned whether his distant behavior was a sign of disinterest rather than an intentional strategy to cultivate allure. Similarly, there's the experience of Maya, who found herself on the receiving end of selective attention. Early in her dating life, she encountered individuals who would sporadically ignore her messages or cancel plans without clear explanation. While the initial phases of these encounters were marked by excitement and heightened anticipation, the lack of consistent engagement eventually left her feeling undervalued and emotionally confused. Maya's story is a stark reminder that while the strategy of being mysterious can momentarily captivate interest, it can also lead to unintended emotional fallout if not balanced with sincere and open communication. Another relatable experience comes from group settings, where the dynamics of social proof are in full play. In one instance, a friend recounted how a popular figure in their circle maintained an aura of selective availability, which not only boosted her individual appeal, but also created a ripple effect of admiration within the group. However, some members of the group later expressed concerns that the constant game of catch-up was less about mutual connection and more about maintaining a public image. This example underscores the importance of aligning one's actions with genuine intentions, rather than using mystery as a superficial tool for validation. These stories echo a broader lesson. While the psychological principles behind ignoring can be fascinating and in some cases effective in sparking interest, they come with inherent risks. Real-life narratives remind us that the strategy must be applied judiciously and with empathy. It is crucial to ensure that the other person's feelings and needs are not compromised in the process. By reflecting on these experiences, viewers are encouraged to adopt a more balanced approach, one that fosters genuine connection rather than simply chasing after an elusive allure. Ultimately, the goal should be to enhance emotional intimacy and trust, ensuring that both parties feel valued and understood. The lessons from these real-life experiences serve as a guide, reminding us to tread carefully on the fine line between sparking curiosity and inadvertently causing emotional harm. 7. Crafting the approach. Strategies for respectful and effective use. Having explored the intricate dynamics of attraction and the potential pitfalls of excessive unavailability, we now turn our attention to practical strategies. How can one incorporate elements of selective attention in a manner that is both respectful and effective? This chapter outlines actionable tips and thoughtful guidance for using the ignoring approach without compromising the essential elements of clear communication and mutual respect. The first step is cultivating self-awareness. Understanding your own motivations is critical. Ask yourself, are you stepping back to create genuine intrigue? Or is it a way to mask your own insecurities? Reflect on past interactions and identify patterns that have led to either successful connections or unintended misunderstandings. By acknowledging your emotional state and being honest with yourself, you create a solid foundation for applying this strategy with integrity. Next, timing and context are paramount. The art of selective unavailability is not about prolonged silence or consistent detachment. Instead, it's about strategically choosing moments to step back, allowing space for both individuals to reflect, rather than creating a habitual absence that might be perceived as disinterest. For instance, during times of high emotional intensity or after a meaningful interaction, a brief pause can allow the other person to appreciate the depth of the connection. It's crucial, however, to ensure that this pause is temporary and balanced with subsequent periods of attentive engagement. Clear boundaries are another essential component. Before employing this approach, consider setting expectations. In any healthy relationship, both parties should have an understanding of their communication styles and needs. A mutually agreed upon rhythm, where moments of independence are complemented by periods of genuine connection, can transform selective unavailability from a manipulative tactic into a natural element of a dynamic relationship. Share your perspective openly. Let your partner know that your need for occasional space is about maintaining personal balance rather than a sign of detachment. Practical techniques also include mindful communication. When you decide to step back, do so in a way that remains respectful of the other person's feelings. For example, instead of abruptly cutting off communication, consider signaling that you need some time to focus on personal goals or other commitments. This transparency helps to avoid misunderstandings and reassures the other party that your intentions are not rooted in disinterest. In today's digital age, even a simple message indicating that you're busy, without leaving the other person in suspense, can maintain the delicate balance between mystery and clarity. Furthermore, it is essential to continuously assess the impact of this strategy. Ask for feedback either directly or by paying attention to nonverbal cues to ensure that your partner feels valued and understood. A relationship built on mutual respect should encourage open dialogue, where both parties can express their needs and concerns without fear of judgment. In sharing your experiences with trusted friends or mentors, you might gain new insights that can refine your approach further. Ultimately, using selective unavailability should not be an end in itself, but a means to deepen emotional connections. It is about creating space for both individuals to appreciate each other's uniqueness while also nurturing an environment of honesty and vulnerability. By integrating these strategies into your interpersonal dynamics, you can enhance the natural allure of your personality without sacrificing the essential elements of trust and communication. This balanced approach serves as a reminder that genuine attraction is not about playing hard to get, but about respecting both your own needs and those of your partner. 8. Synthesis, reflection, and the final call to action. As we reach the final chapter in our exploration of the hidden psychology behind ignoring women, it's time to synthesize the lessons learned and reflect on the multifaceted nature of this strategy. Throughout our journey, we have examined how psychological principles like scarcity, social proof, and human attachment work together to create an allure that is both powerful and complex. We've seen that while selective unavailability can sometimes spark interest and intensify attraction, its success hinges on thoughtful application and genuine respect for all involved. In reviewing our earlier chapters, we recognize that every relationship is unique. What might work as an intriguing tactic for one individual could easily be misinterpreted or even harmful in another context. The delicate balance between fostering curiosity and ensuring emotional security is not an exact science. It requires self-awareness, clear communication, and a commitment to mutual respect. As you reflect on your own experiences, consider the moments when a little distance allowed both you and the other person to appreciate the value of your connection. Equally, remember the times when too much distance created a gap that was difficult to bridge. This synthesis reminds us that the underlying intent should always be the cultivation of a healthy and fulfilling relationship. The allure of mystery is best appreciated when it coexists with honesty and warmth. Ignoring should not be used as a shortcut to manipulate emotions or to obscure true feelings. Instead, it should serve as a tool, one of many in the intricate dance of human relationships, that when applied judiciously can enrich the connection between two people. Moreover, as we've discussed, the power of this strategy is rooted not only in individual behavior, but also in the social context in which we operate. The influence of peer dynamics, cultural expectations, and personal experiences all play a significant role in how selective unavailability is perceived and responded to. In embracing these complexities, you are encouraged to remain flexible, adaptive, and above all, respectful. Relationships thrive on genuine engagement and open dialogue, and any strategy that undermines these values is unlikely to yield long-term satisfaction. In closing, let this final chapter be a call to introspection and mindful application. Embrace the insights shared here as a way to enhance your interpersonal connections, not as a formula to manipulate, but as a reminder of the profound impact that balanced attention and thoughtful withdrawal can have on deepening mutual appreciation. Always strive to communicate openly, set clear boundaries, and remain attuned to the feelings of those you care about. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the hidden psychology behind ignoring as a strategy. If you found these insights helpful, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more in-depth discussions on relationships, psychology, and personal growth. Your support means the world and encourages us to keep delving into topics that matter. Stay curious, stay respectful, and most importantly, stay true to yourself.